Welcome back to the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, people, with Steele and Flip, and it's time to get very, very serious. We have hockey back. We are doing a draft with our listeners live on air today. All kinds of special reaction and breakdowns. Thank you for joining us. Let's get right to it.
You're Locked On Fantasy Hockey, your daily podcast on fantasy hockey. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yeah, I'm just continuing to go down the list right now. I'm trying to look at players who I want to select with my next picks. But again, like you said, it's getting a little down there where, it's getting a little tougher in this position now. Alec Martinez, Oliver Bjorkstrand, Nico Hischier, Phil Kessel, Marco Rossi. Those are the top guys. Noah Hannafin, Erik Karlsson, Damon Severson, Jared Spurgeon. We've talked about this. Brock Besser just got selected, who was also in my queue. He is injured as of right now. We talked about that. He is going to miss, the first three or 4 weeks of the season. So he will be sidelined for the first month.
And here's a good point to consider later in the draft is maybe keeping an eye on some of those players that are listed injured on the draft sheet, but might actually turn up healthy sooner than later, that you can still get some good value out of. So some of those players now, and you're seeing them go off the board, you just mentioned Brock Besser. We will see what else happens, but, that's an angle that you have to consider now, Steele, because –
and there we go, Tom Wilson, another injured player.
Exactly that. So thank you for speaking to my point. I really, really appreciate that. That makes me feel and look good. Now we're filling in these bench spots, and I have my goalie backup in Anton Forsberg behind Sorokin and Jari. I want to try and now add in a positional player for my left, for my D. I have 3 bench spots. I want to sprinkle it out a little bit. There's something to be said about taking the best player available as well, for sure. Travis Konechny near the top of the board. Ryan Pulock near the top of the board. Your boy Vladislav Gavrikov near the top of the board. I hope my pick doesn't upset you, Steele, because I am looking very hard at Vladislav Gavrikov. But if Nico Hischier is there in 3 picks, I'm going to take him.
Yeah, if he's there, I think you have to take him at that point. Obviously the injury concern scares us. We've talked about him and Jack Hughes at length with their injuries they've had over the last couple of seasons. Yeah. And look, he's already on the IR. We don't know if he's going to be there for the season opener. He should be back pretty soon, within the first week or 2 weeks, hopefully. But that's what the concern is with a lot of those young guys for the New Jersey Devils.
Lots of hype around the New Jersey Devils. No track record of anything to speak. They got the Mackenzie Blackwood health factor now back in their side. They got Vitek Vanacek in the cage. They should be better. And I know Nico Hischier has had some injury issues. Yeah. I think he's in for a good season. 60, 70 points is right in the realm. I'm going to snipe him up here, Steele. 17th round. We're almost there, baby.
Yeah, we're almost finished here. 3 or 4 more selections. 4 more selections for myself, three more for you. I already know who I'm going with for my next pick. Actually, my 2 next picks as well. 2 guys that I'm, one guy I'm really surprised is still on the board, but maybe people are a little scared of picking him because of how slow he started last year. That's Blake Wheeler.
And getting the C stripped off him as well. What does that mean for his overall?
Might put a little fire in him if I.
Hey, why not? You'd think if anything it should, because he's shown that he still has some offensive ability for sure. He can still play at an elite level. So you would hope getting the C stripped off him would fire him up. And I got to tell you about betonline.net, your number one source for football betting this season. Find all of the latest player developments, team matchups, news, podcasts, and in-depth analysis on every single game you can find. As always, BetOnline remains your number one continued source for all of your wagering info, live betting, up-to-the-minute stats, and every sport out there. It is the fastest and easiest way for you to check in on all of your favorite games and events, including MLB, MMA, boxing, and golf. Head to betonline.net today or use your mobile device to learn more. Bet online, where the game starts. That's the angle you obviously are hoping for if you're a fantasy GM investing in him. But Steele, why not? Why not in the 17th round, at the end of the 17th round as well?
I think it's a great steal. The thing was that he just got off to a slow start. I think he had 2 points in the first 18 games. Like he couldn't even get on the scoreboard. I don't think he scored his first goal until like the 20th. It was just very slow, very shocking to see Blake Wheeler start that way. And obviously, look, he's already been chirped. I think it was Chris Tanev or Rasmus Anderson. Someone from the Calgary Flames was chirping him about, hey, where's the C, buddy? Where's the C? He's already getting it at. He's already getting under attack. So that's going to put some fire under him.
Most definitely. And that's spicy. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I can't read or listen to any more of this deal. I need to see it go down on the ice live. We have that action. It's back, people. Hockey is here. Thank you for showing the love to the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast and tuning in and holding us down. This episode has been part of our draft special with our listeners. We hope you've enjoyed it. Steele is about to be back on the clock, and we're going to wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah, we're getting very close. I know who my next two selections
Cole Perfetti off the board, Steele.
Yeah, I know. I was going to mention that to you. I'm on the board.
I'm upset.
I know who my next selections are here. I'm going to go with Blake Wheeler real quick. Make it real quick and easy for us to get things moving along a little bit.
Yeah, love it.
Casey Middlestat taken off the board. Who's salary arbitration? Ryan Jackson. Who's he going to take next to start the 18th round? Ryan Strome is the next selected pick. I'm going to go with Tyson Barrie. I don't usually like going with
Steele,
Tyson
I was
Barrie.
Look at him too. Nice. I like it.
Look, Tyson Barrie, I've got Zach Hyman. He looked a little bit better in the preseason. He didn't live up to expectation, which was with the Maple Leafs. He hasn't been that great with Edmonton, but they should be better this upcoming season.
Oh, for sure. They will. And, man, Tyson Barrie, we know that he might be a little bit weak on a lot weak on the defensive end, but he has definitely proved that he can get it done offensively. I was about to take a flyer on him as well because, Steele, now these picks are, we can analyze a lot of the top few rounds. You can analyze a lot of the top few picks. And, you can analyze these too, but this is where you're going to have to get a little bit lucky. I got 3 picks left. Again, like I said, I'm trying to just support and throw in some options. I have a backup goalie. I have a backup centerman. I'm going to be now looking for an additional D-man. I'm going to probably go back to the Devils well here. Damon Severson had a good look last year. Now Dougie Hamilton's back. Some would say that's going to eat into his minutes. I don't think so. I think he's going to put up even more points going alongside Dougie. So I'm going to take a look at him as well. There's some other picks here, though. Esa Lindell, Philip Ronek. I don't know. But I will be going for a D-man.
Look, there's a few guys who I'm still looking at right now. Vladislav Gavrikov will probably be my backup defenseman. Look, as of right now, I've got Ekblad, Devin Taves, Slavin, Barrie. I've only got 4 defensemen, so I'm definitely going to need to put another one on my bench. But there's 2 players I have in mind for my next picks, so I'm really hoping that no one picks them up before I do.
Ooh, there you go. Nino Niederreiter all the way in the 18th round, Steele. That might be a really, really great pick. The Nashville Predators have looked good early. I think someone's going to be who was that? Tim Demkos. I think you're going to be very happy with that selection. I'm up in 2 more picks. 3 picks left for me, all bench slots. Like I said, just really trying to balance it out, but also starting to take some risks here, Steele, because why not, right?
Yeah, that's what you got to do in the last couple of rounds. I'm going to wait to tell you who I'm looking at after you make your selection because I don't want you to think about him.
Shane Wright off the board. That's exactly what we're talking about. Why not? I could probably
Yep.
wait for this player Steele, but I think he's being slept on very, very heavily in Jamie Drysdale. And I know he's way, way down that board. But if I'm just filling in my roster right now, I'm going with my gut. And this is why you have to trust your research.
Yeah, we've talked about the Anaheim Ducks. Not sure where they're going to, they're probably going to be at the bottom of the Pacific Division, but they've got a lot of young, talented guys on the roster. Mason McTavish, Troy Terry, Trevor Zegras, Jamie Drysdale on the back end. Hopefully John Gibson can get back to his usual self when he was, a top 5 goalie. Obviously, he's not in that category or in that area anymore, but maybe get back to a top 10 goalie, hopefully top 7, but they've got a very young team, so who knows where they might be in the next couple of years.
Some of the young pieces are, I think, the main takeaway. The goaltending situation, Stolarz and Gibson, leaves a lot to be desired. But the young pieces, again, Steele, the fantasy angles, you got to dig into the trenches and get gritty with it. That's the point of this draft we are at, and the point of this episode as well, because
Dylan Holloway.
Hey, whoa. Hey, these are taking the risks. I appreciate what's happening here.
Look, I know it's preseason, but he was one of the standouts for the Edmonton Oilers in the preseason and just overall. So, look, got to take those risks in the last couple of rounds. Flip, we're getting up to your next pick. Who are you looking at?
Again, positionally, looking out to the wing, Voracek, Atkinson, Chandler Stevenson, Killorn. I am going to go with Cole Sillinger. I got to do it. He had such a good outcoming season last year. The depth up top in Columbus now, though, with the addition of Johnny Gaudreau, obviously shifts things around a bit. So he might be, not eating as many minutes, but it won't be that much less. Actually, if he continues to do what he did, he's going to be sensational still.
I do have to say, though, real quick, right before you picked Sillinger, Jack Quinn was selected.
There you go.
Actually makes me very happy for 2 reasons. One, because I've talked a lot about Jack Quinn and the ability and potential he has with Buffalo. The second reason, I was looking at him, and if someone didn't take him, it was going to make my life a lot harder because I was having I was looking at 2 guys. Dang it, Whiskey Deeks takes Vladislav Gavrikov from me.
Oh, your boy.
That was my boy. That's who I was looking at as my next bench defenseman. Jonathan Quick goes next. I'm up on the board very, very soon. I think you're going to love my next pick here, Flip.
Ooh, I hope I do. We are going to break down our teams in a little bit more depth on another episode. We are also going to be checking in on the updates of this league all season long, so you don't miss out. If Steele and I are doing good, if we're doing awful, you will hear about it. Trust me on that.
Look, I already have a feeling I'm going to have to make a couple of trades here. I've favored a lot of, teams. The Tampa Bay Lightning. I'm looking to favor the Colorado Avalanche as well with one of my next selections.
Okay.
I've got Vasilevsky, I've got Stamkos, I've got Point, so I've got 3 Lightning players. I have Mikko Rantanen, I have Devin Taves from the Colorado Avalanche. That's who I'm looking at for my next pick. What do you think about Alex Newhook? We've talked about him.
What do you mean? You know what I think about that.
This is the
perfect spot of the draft to grab this guy, Steele. So I'm with it. Also, they haven't even dropped the puck on this season, and he has taken that second center position. So we called that, and I love it, Steele. You know I love that.
I said that too. I knew you were going to like that selection. It's hard right now. It's definitely hard right now because I've got 3 Colorado Avalanche players. I've got 3 Tampa Bay Lightning. I've got 2 Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah.
I've got 2 Winnipeg Jets. That's what starts to happen towards the end. You start picking players, obviously, from the same team, but I might have to make a couple of trades because obviously I'm not really a big fan of my defense right now, but everything else I love. I'm on the clock though right now. I'm on the clock.
Your last
I need
pick.
to pick a defenseman. My last pick. Jared Spurgeon. Yeah, I'm going to go Jared Spurgeon. Another Minnesota Wild guy. My roster is full as of right now. That is my full team.
Hey, and I need another winger just to fill it out. My last pick. I could go off the board. I was thinking Puljuarvi. I don't hate the Jake DeBrusk look. There are some options, Philip Hedl. At this point, you could just really do what you wish. And I'm fine with your last pick in any fantasy draft being more of a gut call. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, Steele. I'm going to go a little bit down the board, actually even lower down the board than you may expected me to. Brandon Hagel is around. I mentioned Jesse Puljuarvi.
Why not? He could.
Why not?
He could finally have that breakout season that we've expected him to have.
So we just saw Sharon Govich go, Barbashev, Sorelli, Carlson, Yanni Gord, and to close out this draft episode, and thank you for riding with us, I am going to take Jesse Puljuarvi. My team is complete, Steele. I will wrap this up by saying I have Nick Suzuki, Thomas Hertl, Adrian Kempe at the center, Kaprizov, Nugent Hopkins, and Granlund on the left side for now. Lots of dual eligibility here, so that could shift around. Line Mangiapane, and Kopp on the right side. And on the D, I got Fox, Seth Jones, Mikhail Sergachev, and Owen Power. And I'm really liking my blue line, if I'm being honest. On my utility, Nico Hischier, Ilya Sorokin in the cage with Tristan Jarry, backup Anton Forsberg, and then my flyers of the draft, Jamie Drysdale, Cole Sillinger, and Jesse Puljuarvi. Steele, we made it. What do you got going on?
Look, I'll ream them off real quick. Stamkos, Eichel, Point for my centerman. Goudreau, Ehlers, Bunting for my left wingers. Rantanen, Giroux, Keller for my right wingers. Ekblad, Taves, Slavin, Barry for my defenseman. Hyman in my utility spot. Vasilevsky and Fleury as my goalies. Lafreniere, Wheeler, Newhook, and Spurgeon on my bench. That's the full team. We'll break those down in another episode. It's been a long episode. It's been a long draft flip. We're over an hour and a half into this draft, so real quick before we wrap things up, just want to thank everyone out there for tuning in for the episodes every single day. Everyone who commented, DM'd us, who wanted to join the draft. We want to apologize that we weren't able to get you in. We randomly selected them. There will be, obviously a second draft next year. We're going to be busy for the next couple of weeks. We're just going to stick with this one draft for now for our first annual, our first draft ever. With our fans out there, we just want to thank everyone out there and thank everyone who tuned in for this episode, everyone who joined the draft and tuned in and made their selections as well. Flip, I'm super excited for the season to kick off. Super excited for the outlooks of our team. You and I go head-to-head in the first week, so I'm looking forward to that starting Tuesday night. Again, want to thank everyone out there for tuning into the Locked On Fantasy Hockey Podcast, making it your first listen every single day. Thank you so much for helping us reach our goal of over 500 subscribers to start the season. Yep. We're looking to continue that. We're hoping to get to 1,000, hopefully 1,000 by the new year. It might be a bold push, but hopefully we know the fans out there are tuning in. Thank you so much. If you've made any bets out there, the season starts tonight. Good luck with your money. Good luck with your bets. And we shall see you back here again tomorrow.
Peace.